let's begin with our seated mountain, with our feet on the floor. So our feet are meant to be part of our foundation of this seated mountain. So when we press into our feet, it supports us to be more upright. And we want to see if we can see in our mind's eye. I can see it because I can see you all. But the shoulders are over the hips and the ears are over the shoulders. Okay, so we're aligning our posture. And it's as if there's a string on the crown of the head and it's lifting us up. Nice and tall. So chin is even, just a little bit up, but we're not tilting our heads back. We're lifting up. So the spine is nice and long. Beautiful. Okay, you're all doing it. So from here, we're going to close our eyes and we're just going to start to focus in on our breath. So taking note of how our breath is going in and out. Most often we're breathing in through our nose, if we can. If you have a cold or if something's going on with your nose, you might be breathing in and out through your mouth. But for this practice, we're breathing in through our nose and out through our nose if we can, okay? So to begin with, we're just taking a moment to notice the breath. And today's a big day for our neighbors to the south and for all of us, and so we might be a little bit stressed, especially if you're like me and you've been watching too many podcasts and stuff. So we want to just notice what's happening. And sometimes when we're stressed, our breath can get stuck right here, which is okay if we're breathing from the bottom and up and expanding the ribs. But if we're only getting our breath down to here, then we're breathing shallowly. So just make note of that. And part of the goal of this practice is to consciously take the breath deeper into the body. And when we take the breath deeper into the body, into the lungs, into the blood stream, into our bloodstream, we are bringing more energy and vitality into the body. We're feeling more awake and more present. So it can help with brain function as well as with our physical energy. So just to move this into that breathing practice, we consciously take that breath all the way down to the belly. And we start with the belly because it's a good way to kind of get that sense of, okay, if I press my belly out when I inhale, it allows my diaphragm to drop down. So I'm dropping the diaphragm drops down, the lungs have more room to expand. So the oxygen may get, or what we're breathing in, may actually get down to the bottom of our lungs. So we take a nice deep breath in and expand the belly. And then when we exhale, we let the exhalation out and we draw the belly back in. So we're inhaling and we're taking that breath all the way down and expanding the belly. And then we exhale and we draw the belly in at the very bottom, and that helps press the diaphragm back up and into the bottom of the lungs. Okay, so let's do two more like that, where we're consciously expanding the belly on the inhalation, and then drawing the belly in on the exhalation. And then last one, expanding the belly, and then drawing the belly back in on the exhalation. And then let's just pause here for a moment and just notice how the breath feels. Notice how your body feels from the inside out. Does it feel like your breathing is coming more easily and more and deeper? You feel a little bit more energized. So just noticing. Okay, beautiful. And then we're going to open our eyes and we're going to come back into the space, and we're going to take a moment to orient ourselves. This is when we're kind of paying attention. We're bringing ourselves back to the present moment. We're looking around and we're checking out the space, checking out the colors that we see, the lights that we might be seeing, and each other. Beautiful. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, let's bring our hands down to the sides, and we're going to now make this mountain a moving mountain. So we're going to inhale, and the hands are going to come out, and we're going to come all the way up, reaching for the sky. Beautiful. And then we're going to exhale and come all the way back down. Now, if your shoulders are bothering you, then you're not going to bring your arms up as high. So arms might only come up this high. So you decide what works for you. So we'll do it again, inhaling, coming all the way up. And then exhaling, palms out, all the way back down. Okay, beautiful. Now let's try something a little bit different. Let's see if we can move those arms as slowly as we can while we inhale. So now we're doing the breathing practice, but we're doing a mindfulness practice at the same time. Being mindful of the movements that we're making. Beautiful. And then the same thing when we go down. We're going to exhale, the palms go out as slow as we can. Bringing those arms down slowly, 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 slowly. Different experience, isn't it? Let's give them a shake, because that's working those arms. So let's shake them out. And let's just rest them on our legs for a moment and close our eyes. And this is that moment where we go inside again. So we're doing that interoceptive awareness. We're checking into how that feels in the body. I can really feel my arms. I don't know about the rest of you, but I notice it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let's start with our left foot and our right hand. So we're doing that cross-lateral stuff today. We're working we're doing these movements on opposite sides of the body to bring the brain into working together, both sides of the brain together. Okay, so we're working the brain here. Because we're here not just for our physical self and our mental self, we're here for our brain health too. Now you can close your fist if you want. And then we're going to go around in the other direction. Nice work. No creaks this morning. The left feet must be good. Okay, now we're going to rest that down. And we're going to pause for a moment. Notice the sensation. So you should be able to feel that movement all the way up to your knee. It's getting all those muscles working. Okay, let's do the other foot, so the right foot and the left hand. And again, you can have the hand open or you can have a closed fist. Okay. And then we can go in the other direction. Nice work. Okay, a couple more. And then we're going to release that foot and hand down, pause, notice the sensations in that leg and that we just worked and in the other arm. So now we brought energy all the way up to the knees. Feels good. All right, let's see if we can get our knees working and I guess this is working the knees. We're going to straighten the legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our arms long and lift up our legs. And when we lift up our legs, we're going to bend the elbows. And then we're going to drop the legs, the feet, and then lift up and bend. And then down and up and down and up. Now notice what happens, like I just noticed that in myself. If you sit up instead of leaning back against the chair, what's going on there now? We're working the hamstrings a bit more and the abdominal muscles. Nice work. So I'm inhaling them up and exhaling down. Let's do two more. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Now this time let's just bring them up and let's just hold them here. And let's breathe though. Let's take 3 breaths. And then on the next exhalation, we're going to release the feet down and the arms sinking out. Let's give everything a little bit of a shake. Nice work. Okay. All right, let's pause and just take a moment to notice the sensations. Feels good. Okay. All right, let's move. Let's see if we can get into the hips a bit here. So let's take one leg with a bent knee, hands underneath the leg, and let's do circles around that with that leg bone in the hip socket. So we're moving into the hip. Now you can take bigger, slower movements, or you can take smaller, faster movements, whatever feels right for you. But notice the difference between the two, right? What happens if you slow things down again? Just notice it a little bit more. Okay, let's go in the other direction. Remembering to breathe. And only doing what feels right in your body, right? Okay, let's let that foot rest and let's pause for a moment and notice what's going on in the hip. So now we've moved all the way up to the hip. Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's do the other side. So remembering that a slower movement, and you can check this out yourself, does something different, feels different. Now make sure that you're not just moving your foot, like we're moving the hip bone in the socket, like we're circling that knee into the socket. That's it, Sue. Okay. All right. And slowing it down makes it different. Speeding it up and making it smaller is different again. All right, and then we're going to go in the other direction. Always only do what feels right in your body. And don't push it if it doesn't feel right. Okay, and then let's just rest that foot down. Whew. Notice, I certainly did. One hip feels a lot different than the other. This one, my right hip was tired a lot sooner than my left hip. You can feel it more in that hip. Okay, wonderful. Let's just check in. So close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to get into the pelvis a little bit in the upper body. So we're just going to start to make a circle with the upper body. Okay. Feeling the sit bones on the chair and noting that you're going on the front into the front of your pelvis and onto the back of your pelvis, from sit bone to front, sit bone to back. All right, one more in this direction. And then let's pause for a moment, and then we're going to go around in the other direction. Nice. 2 more times. And then we're going to come to stillness in the center. Close your eyes. Pause here for a moment. Notice the sensations. Beautiful. Okay, let's bring our hands up to our shoulders and we'll just get into our shoulders a little bit here. We'll just start to do nice big circles with the elbows. Again, be gentle if your shoulders are a sore spot for you or limited in their mobility. And you can I'm making really big circles, but you can make really little circles with your elbows too. Notice how that feels different and where you're targeting that movement is a little bit different. Okay, let's turn and go in the other direction if you haven't already. That's it. And remember those little circles count too. Nice. Let's just pause for a moment and let's see if we can just do one arm at a time. Pretend we're swimming, except we're not using our hands. And then let's go in the other direction. Okay, nice. All right, let's just release those arms down. Let's give them a good shake. Shake it out. Okay, and then let's pause and just let those arms settle and just notice the sensations. Whew, in the shoulders, the arms, the wrists and the hands even. Beautiful. Okay, let's see if we can loosen up the necks a little bit, our necks a little bit. So we're going to start by taking the chin over to the right shoulder and then coming back to center. So we're exhaling, taking the chin over to the left, and we're inhaling back to center. Exhaling to the right, and back to center, and the left, and back to center. Let's do one more time on each side. And then the next time we come over to the right, let's stay here. And let's take our eyes behind us, and let's do 3 breaths here. Beautiful. Come back to center, and let's take the chin over to the left, and let's pause here, looking back with the eyes, because remember those muscles in the eyes need a good stretch too, and they support with the tightness in the neck. Okay, let's do one more breath here. And then exhale and come back to center. Beautiful. Okay, let's pause. Okay, nice work, everyone. Okay, now we're going to see if we can take the ears down to the shoulders. So we're going to take that right ear. Whoops, I had a little click in my neck. Let's go down to the right shoulder and come back up and over to the left shoulder and come back up. And the right and up and the left and up. It's a bit different movement. You could put the opposite hand out if you like to get a little bit more stretch. And then come back to center and the other direction. And back to center. And let's do one more time each side. And back and the other side. And back. Okay, let's come and pause in the center. Close your eyes for a moment. Just notice the sensations around your neck and shoulders. We want to bring that movement into all the muscles, into all the joints in the body, to bring more synovial fluid, more energy, more blood flow into the areas. That's why we're doing this movement. Okay, nice work. Okay, let's come up to standing. And we're going to align ourselves in our standing mountain right from the get-go. So we're going to okay, so our feet are hip-width apart. Feet are hip-width apart. Knees are relaxed. And we're going to do that alignment now. Now we're adding our ears in. So I do this to lift so I can feel my chest lifting. But I want my ears to be over my shoulders. And my shoulders over my hips. Yep, hips over ankles. Nice work. And you've all got, it's amazing, you've all got pretty level shoulders. I tend to have one shoulder down, but you're all looking pretty good with your shoulders. And there's a string on the crown of your head, and it's lengthening your spine, just lifting you up nice and tall out of the waist. Beautiful. Arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Close your eyes for a moment. So this standing mountain is a real grounding posture. So you want to feel the base of your feet. And remember those 3 points of contact. There's the base of the big toe, the outside edge of the little toe, and the center of the heel. And those 3 points pressing down into the ground add to stability. And while we're here, let's see if we can lift our toes up and stretch them apart, nice and wide. Lift the toes and stretch them, and then release them down. Because we don't really need the toes to stand. We just need the base of the toe, but we don't need the toes to stand. We need the toes to walk and move. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's give everything a shake. That's our mountain, our standing mountain. Okay, let's start with bringing some. Let's use our balls. Seeing as I gave you all a ball today, I'm going to take my socks off so you can see what I'm doing with my feet. So I'm just going to roll the ball from front to back to start with on the bottom of the foot. So the whole idea, I don't know if I've used this before when Christina was here, but the whole idea is to stretch or put some movement and some stretch into the fascia at the bottom of the foot. It's the connective tissue that holds everything together. And as we age, from not being hydrated enough and not doing enough movement and stretching, our connective tissue tends to tighten up. And so if it's tightening up on the base of our foot, it's interfering in our balance, right? Our whole foot isn't able to sit on the floor. So just by doing some movement, some rolling of the ball, and the stretches that we're going to do in the bottom of the foot, we're opening up the base of the foot. We're stretching that fascia a little bit. It's really hard to stretch the fascia, but we're bringing movement into it and blood flow. Okay, so we're just going to notice as we're rolling the ball any tight or tender spots. And if you notice any tender spots, you can spend a little bit of time there. You know that in Chinese medicine, the meridian points end at the base of the feet, and so there's that reflexology, the practice of reflexology that works on different parts of the body by working on your feet. So if there's something tender, we can spend a little bit of time there. And then we're going to take our foot down onto the heel down onto the floor. And to start with, I'm just going to wrap my toes around the ball and squeeze the ball with my toes. So now I'm bringing some energy and action into those toes that tend to just kind of sit there. And we never do anything with them, unless we're painting them, the toenails. Then we'd notice them. But otherwise, they're just like down there and they're doing whatever. So we're stretching them out a little bit and we're breathing. That's only if you can reach your toes.
We do yoga, of course we can reach our toes. We're all stretched out. If you can, I can recommend a good person who can.
Okay, good. Okay, then we're going to let it go. We're going to just roll that ball again for a bit from front to back. Get into that foot again. It feels good. And remember, we talked about the toe things you can order. Oh, she's lost her ball. Oh no. It's escaped. Okay, now we're going to bring that ball into the arch at the base of the foot. The heel comes down on the floor again, and I'm pressing down into that ball at the base, at that arch in my top of my foot. Well, bottom of my foot, but at the front, below my toes. Let me try and get that right. And I'm pressing down, and I can see, because I have my socks off, how all the bones at the base of my toes are articulated, so they're popped out. Right? So I'm stretching that area of my foot. And I'm breathing, because it might hurt, so you want to remember to breathe. And we'll do a couple more breaths here. Beautiful. And then we're going to release that. We're just going to roll the ball again, back and forth. You might even notice a difference in if you've had any tender spots on the bottom of your foot. You might even notice that maybe that tender spot isn't as tender. Oops. Another ball's on the loose. Okay. All right. We need little rubber mats, yoga mats underneath our balls so they don't fly off. Okay, now I'm going to step up onto that ball like I'm stepping onto a high heel. The ball is going to be just in front of the heel of my foot, right? So it's just in front, and I'm stepping up onto it and I'm sinking down. So now I'm giving some stretch and some movement to the back of the foot where all the bones come out from the heel. And I'm going to take 2 more breaths here. Okay, beautiful. And let's do one more little roll back and forth, front to back. And then let's see if we can get that ball to sit in place for a moment. Place that foot we've been working down on the floor and notice the difference. Okay. Feels a bit wider. Feel a bit more stable with that foot. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so let's do the other side. Noticing any tender spots on the base of your foot. And if you find any, just we've got interference. No worries. Okay. Oof. Spending some time on the, just as long as none of you get knocked out back there, we're okay. Yeah, you're good. Okay, now let's bring the heel down and let's see if we can stretch those toes around the ball. And take a few breaths here. Nice wide toes, stretching, squeezing the ball. Breathing. Okay, releasing, and then rolling out again. Oof, that feels good. Seeing if those tender spots still need a bit of attention. And then we're bringing that ball into the arch at the top of the foot, and we're pressing down. And now we're able to see, or I'm able to see, all those bones at the base of my toe. Toes have articulated, they're called. They're popped out. I can see them. And let's take 2 more breaths here. All right, and then let's roll it out again for a bit. Okay, and then we're going to bring that ball in front of the heel. We're going to step up, down onto it, but it's like stepping up into a high heel. And we're going to breathe. Beautiful, and then release and just a little bit more back and forth. I got to remember to do the top of the foot after we're done this one. We'll do the top of the feet too. And then just putting your ball to the side and standing with both feet now and noticing how that feels to have that wider foundation to stand on. And let's do a bit of walking around and just notice how that feels when we walk. Okay, All right, let's do one more thing with the feet. All right, we're just going to take the foot and bring it behind us. I'm starting with my left foot, and I'm just going to stretch. Now, the tops of the toes are resting on the floor, and I'm just stretching the front of the foot. Ow. Yeah. Uh-oh. Okay, so just giving the top of the foot a bit of a stretch. It's big. It's big. Lots of tightness in there. So if you did this a little bit every day, it would change that, would open it up a bit. Okay, let's let it go and just shake the foot out. Okay, and then we'll do the other foot. Ooh, just stretching the top, taking a few breaths. Last one. Okay, give that foot a shake. Okay, nice work. All right, let's see if we can give the toes a little bit of work still. We'll just come up on our toes. So we're just going to inhale up and exhale down and up. And please hold on to the chair if you need to. And up. Now let's add our arms in. Let's see if we can bring the arms all the way up. And then all the way back down. And all the way up. And all the way back down. Let's do two more. Up. And then back down. And up. And back down. Okay, this last one, if you can, we're going to stay up here for 3 breaths. And then we're going to exhale and come down. Okay, give it a shake. All right, so let's do our warrior one. That's my favorite. So we're going to, this is the other one where we use, we're doing cross-lateral work. So I'm starting with my left foot forward. You do whatever foot forward feels right for you first. The key is your feet remain hip-width apart. And so that you're not trying to do this, right? You want to have a nice wide stance. Well, we tend to do that, right? That's one of the things that my physiotherapist pointed out to me was that I'm always standing like this. And we need to have a nice wide stance to support the body, to be more stable in our body. I think us as women, we tend to hold everything together, cross our legs all the time, and instead of giving some space for our body. Okay, so we're starting with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Both feet are facing forward, hips are forward. Now, what I'm doing when I inhale is bringing this opposite arm up and bending that front knee. And then I'm exhaling back down. Nice, okay, inhaling up, that front knee bends. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. You might want to look up when you bring the hand up. And then exhale down, the eyes come down. Inhale up, looking up. Exhaling down, look down. Okay, this time I'm going to come up with the arm. I'm going to leave that arm there. I'm going to press into the heel of that back foot, and you can see how that will help you feel more upright. And then if it's there for you, you can bring the opposite arm up. So pressing into the heel of the back foot, relax the shoulders down. Beautiful. And let's take 3 breaths. Lovely. And then on the next exhalation, the arms come down, the front leg straightens, and we're going to step those feet together and give the legs a shake. Nice work. Get off that creaky spot. Okay, now the opposite foot comes forward. Remembering to keep our stance nice and wide, stepping that foot forward. Both feet are facing forward, the hips are forward. All right, now we're going to inhale that opposite arm up and the knee is going to bend. And then we're going to exhale down. And inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now you can look up when you inhale and lift the hand. And as you come down, you can cast your eyes down. And exhaling down. Nice work. And this time we're going to inhale up. We're going to keep that hand up. We're going to press that back heel into the floor and lift the other arm up. Soften the shoulders. And let's take 3 breaths here. Really nice work, everyone. Wow. Okay, one more breath. And then exhale, the arms come down, the leg straightens, and we step the feet together. Let's give them all a shake. Let's just do a little bit, while we're doing the shaking thing, let's just do a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of rebounding. Pretend you're on one of those little rebounders and you're doing a little bit of bouncing. You can even shake the head a bit. We can even bring a little bit of a swing in. Whoa, that's a squeaky spot. Okay, and then we're going to very slowly let ourselves come to stillness. And we're going to stand here for a moment. We're going to just notice the sensations in the body. We're going to do one Qigong thing here, a Qigong practice. We're going to inhale and bring the arms up. And it's as if we're pulling in all the energy and we're bringing it back down the body. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhaling up and bringing that energy down, all the way down the body. Okay, last time we're going to inhale up and we're going to bring that energy down, and this time I'm going to bring it down into that lower, it's called the dantian, that lower part of the belly. Put my right hand first and my left hand on top. So I'm bringing all that energy right into the energy center of my body where I can store that energy. I can live or tap into that energy, live from that energy a bit. Let's take 3 breaths here. Okay, beautiful. And then just release everything. Okay. Okay, let's come down to seated. I'm gonna put my socks back on. My feet are getting cold. Put them on the right foot here. Do any of you have, well, this is probably a silly question. How many of you had cedar chests? Did any of you have cedar chests as a young person? Yeah, okay. Cedar chests? It's not cedar? You know those cedar chests you filled with stuff? How? Do you? Ah, there you go. Same thing, right? Except it's not a cedar chest. Did it? Aw. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I did a deep dive into my cedar chest yesterday, and I spent the whole day going through my cedar chest and found, I've been in and out of it over the years, but found all kinds of things. But the interesting thing I found, because I was thinking about it when I was standing on that creaking floor, and I've told you guys my dad was a carpenter and had a construction business, and he actually had the largest mill workshop in the Kootenays at one time. But before all that, he had a sash and door business, and so he built windows. And in the early 70s, a friend of mine in Rossland, his mom and dad had their house windows redone, and my dad's business, which then now did windows, doors, everything, replace the windows for them. And when they were taking the frames apart, they found in the frame, they cut the piece out and gave it to me, that had the stamp from the original business my dad had in Trail on the window frame. T. Wandler Company, yeah. So, so there it was at the bottom of my cedar chest. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah. Anyway, it made me think of it when the floor creaked, because the floors aren't supposed to creak. Okay, so we're sitting now once again in our seated mountain. And so just taking a moment to notice how it feels to be back here. Notice how our body feels. You might want to close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in and just allow yourself to settle back into this. And you might even notice right away, which I did, I went right to my ears, shoulders, hips. And perhaps that came just a little bit more easily than the first time we sat down. Beautiful. Okay, so let's do some heart-opening stuff today. I think it's important to stay present and to stay focused and being positive and sending out good energy to folks. So we're going to start by giving ourselves good energy and bringing that energy into ourselves. So we're going to start with our hands here, and we're going to take a nice wide, arms nice and wide with a nice deep breath. And then as I exhale, I'm going to bring my arms around me, and we're paying attention to which arm's on top. And I'm going to give myself a big hug. And then I'm going to inhale those arms nice and wide again, really wide, beautiful. And then I'm going to bring the opposite arm on top, and I'm going to give myself a nice big hug. I'm going to do that two more times on each side. So nice and wide, and the other arm is on top. You can tuck your chin down. And then nice and wide. And maybe when we reach nice and wide, we're lifting our heart up. Beautiful. And then the other arm comes on top. And remember, we can tuck and round a bit. And then nice and wide, lifting the heart. And exhaling, wrapping those arms around ourselves, tucking the chin. And last one, nice and wide, reaching. And wrapping those arms around us. And let's pause here for a moment. And really take this moment to appreciate yourself. Appreciate something about yourself that keeps you healthy. Well, coming here, you got here today, you can appreciate that about yourself. But something about yourself that keeps you going and keeps you positive. Really appreciate that part. And then what we can do from here is we can send all that appreciation and that love and care for ourselves, which we've just shown our physical and mental and emotional and spiritual self, that we care about ourselves with these nice hugs. We can send that out, whatever's extra there, whatever we can share, we can send it out to the room around us, to the people in the room around us. And we can imagine even that energy and that care and compassion for ourselves going out even further beyond the walls of the building, beyond the walls, the area of our community that we live in, beyond the province, beyond our country, way, way, way out there, to anyone that might need it or not be feeling the same way that we are today. Beautiful. Okay, let's just release those arms down. And pause here for a moment, just releasing it all and just noticing how that feels in the body. Beautiful. Okay. All right, let's rub our hands together. And we're going to take those hands, we're going to build up the heat in the hands, and then we're going to bring them up over our eyes and just allow the eyes to let the hands hold the head, and the eyes are cradled in the open palms of our hands. And let's just take a couple breaths here and just allow that heat and that relaxation, that sense of being held, to settle in and through the body. And then we can take those fingertips and we can start to massage the hairline and just work those fingers into the hairline. Give ourselves a little bit of a massage. One thing that's really helpful in energy medicine when we're feeling like we're really busy and in our heads a lot, is to bring our fingertips to the crown, to the top of the head, and then draw the fingers out and down. So it's like we're opening up space in the head and the brain. Nice. And we can come right back to the back of the base of the skull and just allow that all to come down. If we like, we can come back up and do a little bit of more massage on the face here, that space between the eyebrows. And coming around the eye sockets. Feel nice to massage in there into the cheekbones. And down to the jaw. Maybe opening and closing the mouth just to get into that area of tension and tightness around the jaw. And then the jawbone, from the jawbone out to the chin and back. And down the throat here, this is the vagus nerve, so we can just help to clear and stimulate the vagus nerve a bit. And we can come back to the neck and the trapezius muscles that feel like rocks in my body this morning. Give a little bit of massage in there. And then we can come over to one side and do a little bit of a massage under the armpit into the lymph. And around the shoulder, down the bicep, and around the elbow, and then down the lower arm, all the way down to and including the wrist. And we can move down the channels in between the bones of the fingers, maybe even pinching off the webbing in between the fingers. And then we can take each finger and roll it a little bit, give it a little bit of a tension, maybe even a little pull at the end. Always inviting some relaxation and also blood flow into the joints when we're doing any kind of massage work on our hands and our feet and our legs, anywhere we do any kind of massage work, we're bringing more blood flow. And then the thumb in the palm of the hand, that's something that you can do when you're just sitting to help calm yourself if you're feeling tense. And this is a very calming practice to do. And then let's just pause for a moment before we do the other side and notice how that feels. Notice how that, whatever side you've just worked, I've just worked my left side. Notice the difference from one arm to the other, from one side of the body to the other. And then we can come up to the lymph in the other side. Do a little bit of massage under the arm, around the shoulder. And down that bicep. Around the elbow. And the lower arm all the way down to the wrist and including the wrist. Oh, the channels in between the fingers. And then each finger. Nice. And that circling in the palm. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take one hand and just sweep down this from the shoulder down, the inside and the outside of the arm, and then go to the other side and do the same thing. Sweeping down, taking that energy that we've just worked and letting it go. And then we're going to come into a moment of stillness. We won't have time for our longer meditation and quiet piece at the end, or shavasana. So we're just going to sit here with our eyes closed. I'll just put the timer on. We've got 2 minutes. Very slowly and gently bring yourself back into your body, back to your breath. You can begin to waken the body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. And then moving in whatever way feels right for you. Perhaps finishing with your hands at your heart. Taking a moment once again to appreciate yourself for coming to this practice today, for coming into this community of others to practice with, spending a little bit of time in conscious thought about what's going on in the world around us, and for sending out good compassion and care for others. If you like, you can bring your fingertips to your forehead and you can take a bow to yourself. You can thank yourself for getting you here today. And then you can go around the room and you can take a bow to each other. Namaste, everyone. Namaste.